Hey guys, I'm ROG. In this video, I wanted to share my personal review 3 months later after using the ROG Xbox Ally X. Of course, it looks a little bit different because I have a D brand skin over it. So if you watch my prior videos, you already know where this is coming from. So, and of course I also use some thumb grips there. That's why it looks kind of different. But yeah, a thumb grip is something that I do recommend everybody. But you know, in this video, I actually want to share with you the things that I like so far and the things that I don't like 3 months later. So first of all, let's go and start with the things that I really been liking about the device. And it has to start with the ergonomics. Ergonomic wise, still 3 months later, I still think this is king. Feels really good when you're handling and all that. Performance still has been good. You know, I can't complain about the performance. It has a 24 gigabytes of RAM, which helps a lot. And of course, the Z2 Extreme, you know, it is a little bit better than the Z1 Extreme, but I've been able to play all the AAA games that I've been wanting to play on this device, of course. And 3 months later, I still love that the device is still very quiet. The battery life, I'm also getting very good battery life, around 2 hours to 4 hours of battery life, depending what I'm playing, of course. And of course, the speakers. Speakers is really good. You know, can't complain about the speakers. If once you go after 50% volume wise, it just gets loud, especially when I'm doing these hands-on videos for you guys. Bam. There you go. It gets loud and they don't distort that much at all, even at very full volume. So that's very cool. And of course, the fact that this is Windows PC and I can have Xbox Game Pass PC on the go makes it better and cheaper to play video games on it than say on the Steam Deck, right? So those are the things that I like so far, still 3 months later on the ROG Xbox Ally. Performance, the ergonomics, battery life, Xbox Game Pass, speakers, and the fact that it feels really quiet still 3 months later. Now let's talk about the things that I don't like about the device 3 months later. And I have to start with the build quality. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing that there's been some cracking sounds coming from especially this side of my device. Like you see here, I don't know if you can catch that on the video, but it feels like a cracking sound. And believe me, I have not taken this rear cover off, so there's no reason for that to feel like that. But of all the devices that I have, I've never heard that cracking sound. It's like a creaking sound on the device. On this side, like you see, you barely can notice or hear anything. And I think that feels like it feels like it's about to sound like that too in a couple more months. So I don't like that, and I'm a little bit worried that maybe a year from now there might be a freaking cracking sound all over the device. So that's something that I don't like, that I've been noticing in the last couple weeks. The other thing that I don't like that I have to mention here is the fact that Xbox Full Experience is no longer exclusive to this device. In less than 2 months, Xbox or Microsoft made Xbox Full Experience available on all handheld gaming devices. They even released a trailer showing you guys that it is officially available on all Windows handheld devices. So that means that the hook, that clickbait that they had for, you know, for selling this device over all the other ones, like Xbox Experience being exclusive to this device, it's not there no more. So in other words, if you have a Z1 Extreme device, I really recommend to just download and update Windows so you can get the full Xbox experience there on your device, especially if you have a Z1 Extreme, because the performance is going to feel kind of similar to this and you're going to have the full Xbox experience, right? So what I'm saying is that Xbox Full Experience is not exclusive to this device anymore, and this device, even though it has the full Xbox experience, it is an improvement from before, but it still feels and behaves like a PC. I'm still having problems that sometimes when I put it on sleep mode like this, The device, I go away and I come back like an hour later or 2 hours later, and the device, it's already dead because it doesn't really go resting after I go to standby. The other thing is that sometimes even when you plug it in and you turn it, put it on standby, the device is going to keep turning on and off, on and off, on and off. And it stays like that like forever. When you look at your device, it's already hot, even though you're not using it. And it happens for no reason whatsoever. There's no specific reason why that happens. It's not because the system is updating. It's not because there's something running in the background. It just does that. It's very annoying, and I find myself turning off the device completely when I'm not going to be using it. That's a problem that's not exclusive to the Xbox Ally X device. That's a problem that's going to be basically on almost every single Windows handheld gaming device. But the complaint comes because Xbox Full Experience was supposed to make this thing feel like a console gaming device, like the Nintendo Switch 2, or for example the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is still king when it comes to feeling like a handheld gaming device that feels like a console, or like the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch 1. The Steam Deck still beats the Xbox Ally X when it comes to that. It still feels like a console, does not feel like a PC. That's why I would still recommend the Steam Deck OLED device if you want a handheld gaming device that actually feels like a console, like a Nintendo Switch 2, and it doesn't behave like a PC. For me, still, the Steam Deck OLED feels way better than the Xbox Ally X when it comes to that. The other thing that I don't like is that today, 3 months later, the Z2 Extreme processor still feels overhyped. Honestly, it does, because I had the Legion Go Z1 Extreme, and performance-wise is not that much different. If anything, this might feel a little bit better because it has 24 gigabytes of RAM instead of 16 gigabytes of RAM. Other than that, performance-wise, still feels barely better or faster than the Z1 Extreme devices, in my opinion. So if you have a Z1 Extreme device, like I said before, still keep that device, install Windows Full Experience, and you should still be good for the rest of the year, honestly. And my number one complaint about this device is still the screen. It doesn't matter how powerful or how great the device is in the inside, the number one thing that you're always going to be interacting with is the screen. And that applies to every handheld device, whether it's a smartphone, whether it's a laptop, whether it's my phone device. The screen is the number one thing that's going to hook you and is going to make you feel in love of your device. It doesn't matter how powerful the device is. That's why I still think that the 7-inch 16:9 still feels so small compared to all my other devices. If this was a 16:10, 16:10 instead of 16:9, maybe I would have loved it a lot more. That's why the bezels on the top and the bottoms are so big, because it has a 16:9 screen. So yeah, that's why 3 months later, I still don't like the screen. It's the number one thing you're going to interact with. And for me, it feels smaller than all my other devices. And that's why later on, within a couple weeks, maybe less, I might be switching to the MSI Claw A8 because it has a 8-inch screen. Spec wise, it's very similar to this device, and I like the way it looks. So yeah, I might be switching to that device and dropping this one because like I said, for me, the screen is important because it's the number one thing you interact with. And if I don't like the screen, it doesn't matter how powerful the device is, I'm always going to be complaining. So there you have it, guys. That's my personal review 3 months later of playing with the ROG Xbox Ally X. Is it worth getting or not? That's up to you. Honestly, everything is going up in price. I do believe, that's something we're going to have to get used to right now in the near future. I do regret selling my Legion Go because I would have turned this in and keep that and just install Windows Full Experience on it, and I still would have been happy. Believe me, guys, I still would have been happy. But 8 inches, I think, is the sweet spot, and I think that's why I might be switching to another device later on in the future. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about my personal review of the ROG Xbox Ally 3 months later. Thanks for watching. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.